Now, all is not well in the garden. One of Britain's favourite butterflies, the small tortoiseshell, is facing possible extinction.
Yes, its numbers have fallen by 2/3 in the last 20 years. Now the charity Butterfly Conservation and experts at Oxford University are trying to find out whether anything can be done to save it. Well, Liz Goodyear is from Butterfly Conservation. She joins us now. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
It's undoubtedly a very, very pretty butterfly. Do we know what's going on? Why so few?
At the moment, we don't know for certain. There's lots of factors which could be causing its decline, and this is why Butterfly Conservation is asking the Oxford University to try and do some research into the decline.
Just tell us a little bit about the species. I mean, it's such a pretty species, but was this the kind of butterfly that was very common when, you know, a few years ago, 20 years ago, when I certainly remember seeing them in my garden.
Yes. I mean, we've got a lot of data. This is the one thing that Butterfly Conservation is very good at. We're very good at recording butterflies. So we know, for instance, that between 1995 and 1999, in Hertfordshire and Middlesex, we were recording perhaps an average of 5,000 butterflies a year. In the next 5 years, that figure has gone down to 2,000. And in the last 3 years, down to 1,000, and in 2007 we only have about 500 records for our branch region.
So you mentioned that there could be a number of factors leading to its demise. I mean, what are the possibilities?
Well, climate change is probably having an adverse effect. There's also this parasitic wasp. It's a very small thing. It's not like the wasp that you recognise in the garden that children scream at. But there is this small parasitic wasp which lays its eggs into the caterpillar. It sounds quite weird and horrible, but there's a possibility that this is affecting the numbers.
So the eggs are growing, they're killing the caterpillar.
Yes.
When it happens. So you've got climate change. What about lack of habitat, you know,
oh,
woodlands being mown down?
Everything. We are absolutely ruining our environment by all sorts of different methods. But the problem is that at the moment the decline of the small tortoiseshell is really centred on the southeast of England. People are still recording it in the north of England and other parts of the countryside. The main declines are in the southeast of England.
So is there anything that people can do if you've got gardens? Is there any kind of habitat that can attract these things back?
As far as you can always garden for butterflies, there is no harm. We all see the front gardens which are being turned into car parks. You know, everyone's paving over their front garden. That's loss of habitat. If you can provide nectar for butterflies, but it's not, everyone recognises the buddleia bush as being a really important source of nectar for butterflies. But we've got to look at nectar throughout the year, from March into the end of October, even November. Butterflies, because of the changes in our climate, butterflies are still flying in October and November now, and we have to have the nectar in the garden.
Liz, thank you very much for your time now. I know you're going to come back and talk a little bit more about this later on. So for the moment, thank you. But I don't know if you've got stories about butterflies or pictures, or you've sort of noticed a similar problem. Do let us know, just in your views this morning.
And we'll move on to something else.